Hi, my name is Jackson the Lady. I am in Mr. Sims Film Studies class E-Block, and it is November 22nd, 2021, and today I'm going to be reading my storyboard. In scene 1, also this is called the football game. In scene 1, we have the Grace Brethren in the locker room. They are getting a pep talk and just getting ready for the game. And mainly what happens in this scene is Coach says a few things to the kids, like, hey boys, no matter what happens out there today, I am proud of you guys. And then the quarterback, Peter, goes up to Coach, talks to him about the line on the other team. So, another case, Coach, what is their defensive line like? And just explaining that he has 7 seconds to throw or to hand off. That is what happens in scene 1. In scene 2, we have the coin toss, and that just explains the companionship. They walk up there, they shake hands, say, fair game. The ref says, I'm the referee, I want a fair game. Easy like that. And he flips a coin, Grace calls out heads, but it lands on tails, and so they get the ball. Bulldogs choose to punt, or to kick it to them. In scene 3, Grace lines up for kick return. They receive it. It's received by number 33, and they return it for 30 yards, putting the Grace at the 40-yard line. They still have like the 50 to come, so their red zone is behind them. In scene 4, we have Grace in the huddle. They are setting up a plan for a play. Mainly the decision comes by Peter during this game on what plays. So Peter decides he wants to run the Hail Mary on the first play of the game. And that results in linemen pass blocking, wide receivers running streaks, which is just straight. And he ends up throwing it after the right tackle on defense comes off. He sprints off right, causing him to have to throw, but ends up the ball being tipped off by, it doesn't get tipped off. He just throws it and it gets intercepted. Received for a touchdown by Bulldogs. In scene 4, we have the Grace in the huddle, and they're going over a play to run, and it's just going to be a Hail Mary where the linemen are going to be pass blocking and the receivers are going to be running streaks or goes or just straight. And in scene 5, they're actually going to run the play. So Grace is on the ball, ready to run the play. And it's a perfect snap. The receivers sprint out there, but the right side defensive tackle gets off, and Peter is having to get away from him, throwing the ball, causing an interception. And the other team, obviously, I said they catch the ball, the other Bulldogs, receiving it, running it all the way into a touchdown. So now it's already 7-0. In scene 6, Grace is on defense. The Bulldogs run the ball for a touchdown, and then that's the end of the first quarter. They run a pitch in this play, and the running back is able to get the outside edge, running all the way down, scoring a touchdown. So now it is 14-0, end of the first quarter. In scene 7, Grace is on the sideline for that small break at the end of the first quarter. Peter is panting because he's been running so much, explaining to Coach how they're not fast enough and they're being beat. And Coach mainly says we can run a screen and we can beat them on that. So then in scene 8, Grace is actually going to run the screen play. They complete the screen pass, and then the safety on Bulldogs come up out of nowhere, slams into or hits him really hard, the receiver, causing a fumble. Bulldogs receive it, the safety grabs it, and runs it into a touchdown. So now it is 21-0. In scene 9, Bulldogs have the ball. There's 30 seconds left in that quarter. Grace is already losing confidence because, of course, they are down 21-0. So Bulldogs run a Hail Mary, but instead of the quarterback actually passing it, he's gonna run it, and then he's gonna go out of bounds as soon as the timer goes off. So then it puts them into halftime. In scene 10, Grace is actually going to be in the locker room. Grace is going to be discussing new plays, and Coach gives them a really, really inspirational speech about how they've gone undefeated as a team and they can work, and how Bulldogs haven't won a single game except for the championship game, so he gives them a little motivation speech to help them move along in the game. So scene 11, Grace is kicking off, their spirits raised, ready in the second half. So they kick it, perfect kick, they receive it, and then the kicker comes out of nowhere and hits the guy who's running it at the 40, knocks it out of his hands, he picks it up and runs it in for a touchdown, putting some points on the board. So it is 21-7, Grace is still losing. In scene 12, after the touchdown in scene 11, they're going to have to kick again. The kicker on Grace ends up kicking a touchback, which they kick it past the end zone or lands in the end zone. It's the definition of a touchback, and that ends the third quarter. In scene 13, Bulldogs have the ball at the 20-yard line. Samuel, the Bulldogs quarterback, is mad at his team because Grace scored twice in the consecutive of 2 plays. So he's yelling at them to just run a Hail Mary, seeing if they can get us another touchdown. It's 7-21. He snaps the ball, perfect snap. He's going to throw it, but the linebackers get through to run back, and they tip the ball as he's throwing it, lands into Grace's arms. They run it in for a touchdown, causing the score to be 21-14, Grace still losing. Now, scene 14, Grace are in the huddle for kickoff, discussing where to kick, and they're just discussing how they should do an onside kick. So an onside kick is where they kick it 10 yards to try and see if they can receive it, giving them possession of the ball again. So then scene 15 is where they're actually going to run the onside kick. It's perfect kick with the perfect power. It onsides, they receive it for a touchdown. And this is the fourth quarter, and they score a touchdown. And now it's 20-21. Grace is still losing. With a minute left to go in the quarter, they have one more chance for a play. So they're going to run, and they just need a 2-point conversion to win the game. So what they're going to do is they're going to run a no huddle. They're just going to get on the ball. In scene 16, they're just going to run no huddle on the ball. And Peter calls a play Brave Bird, which essentially is just a dive where he snaps it, hands it off to the running back, and he runs straight off the center and the left guard. So he's just going to run straight through where it came from on the snap, and they actually get the 2-point conversion, winning the game 22-21. In scene 17, you have all the players lining up on the 50, and then on the other side of the Bulldogs, so Grace, Bulldogs on both sides, and they're going to actually give high fives saying good game. And they're going to go down the line just doing that, and there's about 30 players, so it takes a while. And then in scene 18, Grace receives the Super Bowl trophy by the board, and they are Super Bowl champs. And that is what happens in my play.